Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to this very special celebration of our graduates from our BS in Sport Management, MS in Global Sport, and MS in Sports Business programs. At the Tisch Institute for Global Sport, we strive to be the global leader in sports business education, and our all-star faculty and our focus on thought leadership have built a really strong foundation of academic excellence that we believe is unmatched. And it's especially encouraging when sports industry executives validate our leadership position. And I'm happy to say that the NFL recently chose the Tisch Institute to develop and deliver a comprehensive custom executive education program specifically designed for their high potential employees. And now that you've joined the ranks of our alumni as you graduate here today, you should feel confident that we are working very hard every day to continue to elevate the value of your degree. Now, we know this last year has brought a full range of emotions to many of us. Pain in some cases, hardship, stress at a minimum, among others. But today is really about celebrating achievement, a milestone, closing one chapter and opening a new one. And as you begin this new chapter, I cannot think of a better person, a better role model to share a few thoughts with you than today's speaker, Val Ackerman, the commissioner of the Big East Conference. Not only is Val the most accomplished women leader in sports, but she ranks among the most impressive executives in all of sports. In fact, she's one of the few executives that have held leadership positions in sports at the collegiate, professional, national team, and international levels. She's been in her current role of commissioner of the Big East Conference, one of the premier basketball conferences in the country, for the last 8 years. But she didn't just assume the role of commissioner, she rebuilt the conference, including expanding the relationship with Fox Sports, securing Madison Square Garden as the venue for the Big East tournament well into the end of this decade, and most recently recruiting the University of Connecticut back to the Big East. You know, Val's had an incredible journey that began in New Jersey, where she was a high school basketball star. She went on to the University of Virginia, where she was an academic All-American and 4-year starter. She even played a year of professional basketball in France before attending law school at UCLA. And after several years at a New York law firm, she joined the NBA as a staff attorney. And during her time at the NBA, she worked very closely with then commissioner, the late David Stern, and was appointed to be the first president of the WNBA when it was launched in 1996. And during her time at the NBA, she was named to the board of directors of USA Basketball and was a driving force behind the creation of the women's national team program. And after leaving the WNBA, she became the first female president of USA Basketball. She also became an influential board member with FIBA, which is the basketball's worldwide governing body. And in 2019, she was appointed co-chair of the NCAA Federal and State Legislation Working Group, which was tasked with examining the rules for student athlete name, image, and likeness, NIL as we know it, and you've heard a lot about this lately. So the group's 2020 recommendations will undoubtedly lead to groundbreaking new changes in NIL. And her awards are far too numerous to list them all, but let me just say that she was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and she's received the Women's Sports Foundation Billie Jean King Contribution Award for her significant contributions to the development and advancement of women's sports. So please join me in welcoming Val Ackerman.
Great. Thank you so much, Vince, for that kind introduction and your friendship over many years. I'd also like to thank Dr. Newland and Dr. Kelly for the kind invitation to be here. It's really an honor to be with all of you. I wish it could be in person, don't we all? And I would like to offer my congratulations to the graduates of this year's Tisch Institute for Global Sport classes. For all your efforts and for all the accomplishments that allowed this moment to happen for you. I can attest that Dean Gennaro has built a truly world-class program here at NYU, and I'm certain that your time with the program will serve you very well as you advance to the next stage of your professional journeys. I can attest, as I go deep into my 33rd year in the sports industry, that it is a very dynamic and exciting place to be. Vince noted some highlights of my career. I won't go through them again, but I am proud right now to be in the college sports world in my current role as head of the Big East Conference. I can tell all of you without lying at all, my journey was very much unplanned. Opportunities presented themselves along the way. I had to make some hard decisions also along the way. And I will tell you that trying to balance the demands of my work, which include a lot of travel, with the responsibilities of being a parent, my two daughters are now 28 and 26, was at times very, very challenging. But here I am, and to the many students who are on the call tonight, I'm sure at least a few of you are wondering, like I did early on in my career, what you'll do post-graduation, where those good jobs are, where your opening is going to be, what sort of an impact you can make, and where you're eventually going to make your mark. In my opinion, where you land will be a product of the capabilities, including the leadership capabilities that you have developed here at Tisch. More than ever, whether it's in the sports business or elsewhere, we truly need people in our world who are ready and able to take the bull by the horns and meet with energy and optimism and honestly some amount of courage the challenges and the opportunities of the modern age, made more difficult by the global pandemic. I have had a chance in my career to work with many incredible leaders, including, as Dean Gennaro noted, longtime commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, who turned the NBA from a sports league into a global sports and entertainment company and completely transformed our industry. David retired in 2014, after 30 years at the helm of the NBA. He sadly passed away last year and is deeply missed. But the sports world and many other industries are still benefiting from his many innovations in marketing, social responsibility, technology, and globalization. I can attest personally that David also understood the power of women and their importance to the future of the game of basketball, and was indeed a driving force behind the launch of the WNBA, which I headed proudly for 8 years and is celebrating its 25th anniversary this summer. David and other effective leaders that I've encountered along the way have taught me that good leaders and good sports executives do certain things very, very well. They inspire, they communicate a vision, they find a way to link that vision with action and bring ideas to fruition, not always easy to do. When presented with the necessary facts, effective leaders make good decisions, at least most of the time. When confronted with unforeseen circumstances, like a pandemic, they respond thoughtfully, decisively, armed with the facts, and responsibly, and with the best interests of the people they serve at the forefront, particularly our athletes in the case of the pandemic. These traits may well define many of you. I hope they do. I'm guessing that we could have on this Zoom screen tonight a future college or pro league commissioner, the head of a major sports broadcast network, the future CEO of the USOPC or a major international sports federation, an influential sports journalist, the dean of a prominent sports management program, the head of a major players union, or some other difference maker who will keep the sports industry going, or better, keep it growing and responsive to the changing tastes of our athletes, the changing demands of our athletes, and the changing tastes of our fans, whose passion and whose wallets have made our business the cultural behemoth that it is today. But even if none of you go on to reach those heights, I can tell you there's still a lot of room in the sports world and in our society for capable, energetic people who are very good at what they do, who make smart decisions when decisions are called for, who don't panic when confronted with difficult tasks, and who by word and deed contribute positively in both big and small ways. If you think that the sports industry has problems, and I'll tell you that sometimes it does, find a way to be a problem solver, and I can guarantee you're going to have permanent employment. I encourage you to look critically at situations and think to yourself, would a new approach here work? How can I make this better? In my experience, there's room in our business and almost any field for big thinking and fresh ideas. So never shy away from using your imagination and embracing a spirit of curiosity in whatever it is you decide to do. I have found that the people who have made or are making a difference in sports and other fields frequently have all or many of the following qualities. So call this some advice. They're smart, decisive, and intellectually curious, as I said, about the world. They take pride in the quality of their work. They're ambitious and want to be the best at what they do. They have a sense of hopefulness and optimism and excitement about the future. They don't give up easily. They have good people skills and know that relationships matter, and that's especially true in the sports industry. And they recognize that opportunities aren't just handed to you, but that ultimately you have to work for what you get. You can rest assured that there are always going to be others who want what you want and will work very, very hard to get it, especially in our business where it's very hard to get a job sometimes and very, very competitive. So you have to be prepared to put in your time and make sacrifices to achieve your goals. My focus with this talk, as you've heard, has been on leadership, but let me give you a couple of other words to keep in mind as you all enter the next chapter. First, think innovation. Steve Jobs, who brought us Apple, as we all know, once said that innovation distinguishes leaders from followers. And studies have shown that innovative leaders do have common traits. They uncork good ideas from the ground floor of organizations. They foster a climate of trust. They bring on a willingness to adopt stretch goals, and they're effective in motivating and inspiring others through their actions. So innovation, think innovation. My second word is learning. In my experience, learning and innovation go hand in hand. It's been said that the arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. In our business, the sports business, I cannot imagine an innovator who isn't constantly striving to build their knowledge base and stay on top of facts, figures, and trends that might inspire a new idea or simply allow their organization to keep in step with the ever-changing times. And finally, I encourage you to think collaboration. Helen Keller famously said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. I actually have this expression framed on my desk. I believe so strongly in this. Dan Tapscott is a prominent organizational consultant, and he said that the spirit of collaboration is penetrating every institution in all of our lives. So learning to collaborate is part of equipping yourself for effectiveness in an ever-changing networked economy and an ever-changing sports industry. And that includes the college, pro, and international sectors. And I can tell you without hesitation that the word teamwork really matters in the sports world, both on and off the field. Finally, I just want to note, I keep a bunch of quotes tacked up on my bulletin board in my home office and in my work office. Lately, it's been my home office. So I have some ready inspiration when the going gets tough, from starting to flag a little bit. And it has been, as Dean Gennaro noted, a hard year for everybody. So we all can always use a little bit of extra inspiration. And I wanted to pass along one of my favorite quotes. This one is by Woodrow Wilson, doesn't have anything to do with sports, but I think it applies to so many, our 28th president, who said the following: "You are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, and with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand." So I want to leave you with that thought for the day. Dean Gennaro, thank you again so much for having me here today and giving me a chance to say a few words to this distinguished class of graduates. I expect to see many of them as colleagues in the sports world, and expect and hope that many of them will be the future leaders of our business. So with that, I want to say congratulations to all of you and good luck in all of your future pursuits.
Thank you, Val Ackerman, for the fantastic words of support for the students and for the very motivating kindness in your message. My name is Dr. Daniel Kelly. I'm the Academic Director of Graduate Programs for the Tisch Institute for Global Sport. And I'm here to welcome students, family members, faculty, staff, and loved ones to today's presentation for the students and the graduating students. Working with each of you for the past 2 years has been an amazing experience. Celebrating your accomplishments today is the pinnacle of why I love working for the Tisch Institute and with each of you. Your perseverance during the pandemic is a testament to your fortitude, and the world is a better place because of your willingness to embrace change. Today, it is my honor to introduce the graduate speaker for today's celebration, Lyndon Moore. I was fortunate to not only have Lyndon in class as a student, and also a TA for the Champions course this past fall, but to work with Lyndon on her independent study research, where she used the power of storytelling to help grow the game of women's basketball in New Zealand at the grassroots and professional levels. Lyndon is the founder of NZ_NBL_girl, one of the few channels in New Zealand that is exclusively dedicated to women's hoops. During Lyndon's time with NYU, she has gained a variety of experiences in the sports industry. She was fortunate to hold the role as the brands and properties intern at Wasserman Media Group, where specifically she worked on the AT&T account and assisted projects around AT&T's partnerships with the WNBA, the American Film Festival, and Tribeca Film Festival. Additionally, Lyndon has held roles as the inaugural president of the NYU Women's in Sports Club, as well as the vice president of Graduate Sports Business Society. Prior to coming to NYU, Lyndon attended the University of Oregon, where she graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in both journalism and PR with a minor in sport business. Lyndon, the floor is yours, and congratulations.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kelly. So, hi everyone, it's great to be here with you all, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. So before I get started, I just wanted to thank the Tisch Institute faculty for putting together this event, as well as Dr. Kelly for inviting me to speak before you all today. It's an immense honor to be here with my fellow graduates, who are some of the most resilient and dedicated people I know, and to share this achievement with our family and friends. It's surreal to be here after 2 years. It seems just like yesterday that we began this journey, and now here we are, about to say farewell to an exciting chapter, but also an eventful one. This class is a special one, and has always shown that no matter where we are or what we do, we continue to show just how strong we are by continuing to pursue our goals and trying new things, and while taking advantage of opportunities that we've been lucky enough to have. It's these things that have made my time here so enjoyable, and I'll miss it, but I'm also very excited to see what lies ahead. NYU has many qualities that make it a world-class institution, and this program is certainly no exception. Everything from the support of faculty to the variety of classes and the once-in-a-lifetime industry experiences, all while being on one of, if not the biggest stage in the world, has positioned us to pursue our respective passions. Our professors, faculty advisors, and staff have led us with compassion and confidence while teaching us to do our best, to pursue our passions while seeking new horizons, and most importantly, to hold our heads high and to be proud of what we've done. This class has introduced me to some of the most amazing people who I consider lifelong friends. We learn from and grow with each other during these unique times, and that too is something that I'll always hold close to me. Personally, I came to NYU because I want to create a role for myself in the sports industry that hasn't necessarily been defined yet. As someone with experience in multiple areas, I came in looking to expand my skill set to become a jack of all trades so I could pursue my dream of working with female athletes in America and abroad. A friend of mine from college actually came through this program as well and told me that this was the place to be, especially in the city and with the opportunities it can afford you. I felt at home here since day one. I knew from the time I walked into orientation and heard from Dean Gennaro and Dr. Kelly that this place had everything and more. In the classroom, the professors made learning an enjoyable experience. Words don't quite do it justice, but our classes were more than enriching and were held beyond campus. In other words, the city was our oyster. The first semester opened my eyes to a mountain of possibilities to what we could get from this program. I, for one, and I'm sure my fellow colleagues and students will agree, we enjoyed dabbling in everything from finance, law, research, all the way to planning major sporting events. And it came with some cool opportunities and events too. I mean, where else can you work the New York City Marathon as a midterm other than with Peter and Paul, shout out to you guys, in the planning class in the fall semester of 2019. Outside the classroom, I was also blessed to be able to find different opportunities with the Graduate Sports Business Society, where myself and a few of my other colleagues as first years had the benefit of learning from incredible second year students who led us in site visits and industry panels so we could grow as professionals. And since then, I've been lucky enough to work with GSBS as the VP this year, and which has helped me grow my muscles in working to engage with students to see what they find helpful, like my predecessors did for me. That does the same thing to be working with Professor Myler as to launch the Women in Sports group, which is an exciting opportunity to see really meet other students and find other interests while expanding our horizons. These lessons have been invaluable and will stay with me, and I'm sure it will with everyone else. As we move forward in the program, it was hard not to be excited for all the things to come. However, our world shifted in March 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. It was a challenging time for many people, students and teachers included, and as we suddenly had a shift from normal society into isolation. On top of finding a new routine, it was also different as we went from seeing friends on campus every day to what seemed like an all-new learning environment as different time zones among other obstacles were thrown in the equation. Zoom soon became a native language of its own, but it required resilience from the NYU community to show us how to navigate the same programming that we used to do in person, but now virtually. To this day, I remain amazed at how the professors, staff, and my fellow students handled the transition with grace. There was definitely a learning curve, but everyone adjusted and stayed positive, which was refreshing. We found a way, ultimately finished the semester strong, and it really showed, we showed what it means to be New York tough. However, circumstances didn't keep us from having cool opportunities. In a way, I think it actually opened the door for even more. Last summer, I was fortunate enough to be in a real world class with Professor David Hollander that worked with Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns in the NBA in an effort to help him expand his brand in the gaming world. It was an amazing experience, unlike any other that tested mine and my colleagues' creativity under a strict deadline. However, the silver lining of it being virtual was that we were actually able to meet with Devin and his agents as Creative Artists Agency after and hear feedback. Looking back on that experience, if it weren't for the virtual space, we probably wouldn't have had that opportunity. And that is something that I think that we will always hold with us. And so before we knew it, we were back at it for the fall semester, although it did take some time to get used to the hybrid approach of classes and adjust to a new normal. Fall 2020 still brought many opportunities. I'm grateful that for me, it still meant helping lead GSBS and Women in Sports, while still being able to pursue my passions through an Independence Day research project along with my internship at Wasserman. I was fortunate enough to work with some of my fellow classmates as well and experience the Champions course as a graduate teaching assistant with Dean Gennaro and Dr. Kelly. And this experience, and I'm sure as the fellow TAs can also speak for, it gave me a true appreciation for what our professors do and the long hours they put in to help maximize our potential. And so to the professors, Dr. Kelly, Professor Antoniella, Dr. Haydad, and Dean Gennaro, thank you for allowing us to see the classroom through your eyes and for that experience. And to the undergrads who took that class, and I know some of you are in this call right now, thank you for being so awesome and making that what it was. This was the semester when I saw the hard work start to pay off, and it was a rewarding and amazing feeling, especially with the challenges that came with that year. But none of it would have been possible without the people behind the scenes. So here we are at the end of this chapter, getting ready to leap forward into whatever comes next. I believe the key to success is to moving forward is to remembering our why and the purpose behind our decision to come here and further our careers. The future is definitely bright for all of us, and even though it does hold a level of uncertainty, we've got this. So as someone who is also getting ready to move forward and transition into their career, my advice for you is this: don't let the fear blind you from the passion. If you love something, go after it and have the confidence to do so. Being a good person, having a curious mind, and being the hardest worker in the room will definitely get you far along in life. And so will your passion and drive. And combining those things, that'll set us apart from the rest. So there's a saying that goes, it's not about what you're doing, but it's about who you're doing it with. These years have brought nothing but great memories, and I couldn't have chosen a better people to experience this chapter of my life with. Thank you to every professor and staff member who believed in us so we could become our best. However, I want to say a special thank you to Professor Myler, Dr. Brown, and of course, Dr. Kelly. So Professor Myler, thank you for exemplifying to me what it means to be a strong female leader in this industry and in general, and to help me navigate not only my career as a student, but also as a professional and an inspiring leader. Working with you to get women in sports off the ground was a pleasure, and I enjoyed the time that we spent in the classroom. Shout out for legal issues, best first class ever, and also playing with, of course, your dog Flash. I hope to exemplify some of the same qualities as you do in my career. To Dr. Brown, thank you for your guidance with GSBS, and thank you for being our sounding board and helping us provide the best opportunities for our peers. Your leadership is always appreciated. And last but not least, Dr. Kelly, thank you can't do it justice for everything you've done and for all the graduate students, but also for myself personally. You've been a huge part of my journey, and as a professor, mentor, and a friend. I had the pleasure of learning from you in my first semester in the financial analysis class, and thank you for making that one of my favorites, even though, if I recall correctly, I did come up to you at orientation freaked out because I told you I was not good with numbers, but you made it much easier and much more enjoyable. And most of all, thank you for investing in my goals and leading me in my research project and as a mentor, and just really being there for me and leading all of us, our whole group, in this time of uncertainty. And so to, of course, my classmates who've all become my friends, you are the best. I can't wait to see what we do in the future, and hopefully we can all work together again someday. But until then, congratulations, everyone. We did it.
Well done, Lyndon. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you and the other graduate students. I wish you so much luck on your next journey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tisch Institute for Global Sport graduation celebration. We are so excited that everyone could join us this evening to celebrate our graduates. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Bree Newland, and I am the academic director for the undergraduate program. One of my many roles is to oversee the undergraduate curriculum, which allows me to engage with our students beyond the classroom, which I really enjoy. I joined the program in 2018, just in time to see many of the graduates in their sophomore year in what was, I'm sure, their all-time favorite course at NYU, applied research. I'm confident that many of these students here tonight have regaled their family and friends for hours about fascinating topics like measures of central tendency, why mixed method research designs are important, or how to be more skeptical of information and how to recognize bias or to challenge assumptions. I'm positive they've discussed this course far more than any other course they've taken here at NYU. Okay, so while I'm very, very aware that that statement was patently false, I'm so grateful that I got the opportunity to meet many of them when they were so young, starting out in their academic career in one of our foundational courses. And I really wish all of these graduates so much luck in their future. You are certainly going to be missed, but we are so excited to see the trails that you will blaze. Tonight, I'm here to introduce one of the most exceptional students I've had the pleasure to work with in my tenure as a professor, Alessandro Giardi. While he was assigned to me as one of my student advisees, the first time I really recall Alessandro was his freshman year. I was walking back from a lecture in Wash Square, and he caught up with me on the sidewalk to chat. I asked how he was doing, and he shared that he was feeling a little bit confused about being at NYU. Given that he was from Italy, he was experiencing a bit of homesickness and was unsure if he wanted to stay. And I could certainly empathize with him because I have lived abroad too. And being away from home and family and friends and familiarity is really hard, but I urged him to stick with it and to stay. And I'm so grateful that he did. In just 3 short years, Alessandro has grown both his personal and professional networks. He has worked exceptionally hard to earn a summa cum laude distinction, has created lifelong memories with his friends and peers, even online, and he has honed his leadership skills as a member of the NYU tennis team through real-world projects and courses like working with Citigroup to analyze the impact of COVID and on the local real estate market, and collaborating with Creative Artist Agency and Devin Booker to enhance the athlete's brand. He's also enhanced his expertise through 2 global internships. He will begin his career as a business development consultant with League Apps right here in New York City. So I'm glad he's not going to be far. The faculty have shared that he is a natural leader through his insightful and genuine nature, with one even saying, "Alessandro, what a rock star." I've enjoyed seeing Alessandro grow over the past 3 years through our many meetings, an independent study project, and now working with him on a manuscript for publication. He is brilliant, curious, insightful, and wise beyond his years. I know that he will continue to make a significant impact no matter where his future takes him. My only regret of Alessandro is that he was so focused that he ended up graduating a full year early, leaving us all too soon. So without further ado, please welcome the Tisch Institute for Global Sport undergraduate speaker, Alessandro Giardi.
Thank you, Dr. Newland. Wow, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Picture this, 20 years down the line, you and I meet again. Coincidentally, we're both taking the M train. You're going home, I'm going to see the Nets at Barclays Center. We have a few minutes before one of us has to get off, so the least I can ask you is, how are you doing? But as I utter those 4 words, you're thinking that tomorrow you have a big deadline. You have to present to your boss all that information she asked you to condense into a 5-minute executive summary. On top of that, you're thinking that you've been working 12-hour days for the past week and haven't even had the time to do your laundry, let alone spend time with a friend. And on top of that, you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner. And on top of that, you're thinking that you forgot to return Mark's call. He called you 6 hours ago, but you didn't have the time to answer. And the list goes on and on. So the best you can come up with to answer my question is, good. The point is that the world is rotating at an unprecedentedly fast pace. And in a society that is constantly speeding up, slowing down has become both a privilege and a challenge, both an act of courage and of rebellion. We go about our daily routines, our schedules packed with meetings, coffee interviews, phone calls, and emails. Additionally, a deadline might be approaching. It might be the final essay of your last master's course. It might be your thesis, the ultimate step to your PhD. It might be the proposal for a new marketing plan for the Knicks, or a new branch of business at Nike. Or you might have just landed a new job, your dream job at The Athletic. You have been tasked with writing your first article. The editor-in-chief needs it by tomorrow. And you're staring at a blank Word document because you were so excited that you landed your dream job that the night before, instead of watching the Jets, you went out partying with friends. And now you feel the stress. You feel the pressure. You hear the time ticking. And your impulse is just to write anything just to fill that page. Well, I beg you not to. In 1986, Carlo Petrini, an Italian man, protested against the opening of a McDonald's fast food restaurant in Rome. That event did not just ignite what has come to be known as the slow food trend. It marked the beginning of a far broader philosophical proposition, the slow movement. Norwegian philosopher Guttorm Florstad summarized the movement in a quote that inspired me. The only thing for certain is that everything changes. The rate of change increases. If you want to hang on, you better speed up. That is the message of today. It could, however, be useful to remind everyone that our basic needs never change. The need to be seen and appreciated. It is the need to belong. The need for nearness and care, and for a little love. This is given only through slowness in human relations. In order to master changes, we have to recover slowness, reflection, and togetherness. There we will find real renewal. From Principles of Abundance for the Cosmic Citizen by Dorothy Riddle, I really recommend this book. The slow movement gave birth to slow reading, slow media, slow travel, slow art, almost anything can be resized to meet a slower, more human velocity. First and foremost, thinking. The one thing we have perhaps the most control over, the one thing that depends solely upon us. And yet slow thinking seems to be, arguably, the most challenging, strenuous effort that can be demanded of an individual. What is the introductory word or phrase you hear the most over the course of your everyday life? After hello, good morning, and good evening, it's probably something like, I don't have time. And to some extent, that might be true. We might not have the time to go out to lunch with a friend when we're approaching a deadline. We might not have the time to take a vacation midway through a project. We might not have the time to take a phone call just before entering a meeting. But we always, always, will have the time to think about what we're doing, to think about why we're doing it, to ponder whether there would be a better way to do it, in an effort to be timelessly present in our thoughts, delve deep into our self-awareness, and trace the roots of happiness or unhappiness, or whatever is in between these two polar opposites for you. And while all of this may sound corny, cheesy, even naive, just like the scene I asked you to picture a few minutes ago might also sound fanciful, far-fetched, and unreal, I can assure you that it can happen. Actually, it has a better than not chance of happening. If you don't want to take my word for it, ask older adults in your life. I'm sure they'll confirm it. It might not be me whom you meet on that M train. It might be someone else in this room, meeting, webinar, whatever you want to call it. But at some point in your lives, someone will come up to you and ask, how are you doing? And I don't mean the employee you see at Starbucks every morning who uses the question as a general polite hello. I mean someone you haven't seen for a long time. Someone who is really, genuinely, meaningfully interested in knowing what it is that you have been doing in the past 20 years and if it has led you to happiness. That question, how are you doing, that we hear over and over and over again throughout our lives, and that we have grown to treat as futile, empty, meaningless, actually has so much meaning embedded within it. It is demanding that we take the time to slow down a second, press pause, and assess where we're at, why we're there, and whether we're doing well, or perhaps could be doing better, or maybe could be doing worse in that precise moment of our day, of our week, of our lives. If you ignore all this and just settle for the superficial good, then it means that perhaps you've missed the opportunities slow thinking can provide. Why am I telling you this? You might be slowly starting to think, pun intended. What do I care about how someone else spends their time? Well, let me ask you this. How can we possibly aspire to empathize with others if we cannot even empathize with ourselves? If, when confronted with the question, we don't even know why we're doing what we're doing, what we truly want to accomplish, what it is that we really love and appreciate about the subject matter we're studying, promoting, or dedicating our lives to. But not just that, life is not made up solely of work. You might be doing well because today a friend told you that they really appreciate a personal favor you did for them, and that made you happy. Or you might be doing well because upon entering the subway, a stranger smiled at you, and that made you feel good. Or you might be doing well because just yesterday, you booked a trip to Hawaii with your family, and you're counting the days until it happens. All I ask is that you think about it, that you take the time to evaluate whether you're really doing well and what that truly means for you, and that you consider the possibility that the smallest things can have the largest impact on your well-being. Slow thinking can be humbling. When we take the time to appreciate the unanswered questions embedded in our daily routines, our biases and blind spots come to the surface. And that prompts us to step outside of ourselves, like a bird that detaches from its flock and looks at it as if it were a separate entity, as if it had never really seen it, never really known it. Similarly, we must be able to look at ourselves as if we were a separate person who is desperately trying to understand us. Empathy, at its core, is the very root of truth. We will forever be remembered as the class that graduated in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. But please hear me loud and clear. This is not the legacy that we will leave behind. As a matter of fact, we will be remembered for exactly the opposite. In a few weeks' time, when we leave NYU to transition into the next stage of our lives, we will be tasked with a paramount challenge, one that perhaps no one has had up to now, that of bringing society back to what it once was. It's not going to happen naturally like many people think, far from that. But we have to try, because this right here, being distanced from one another, cannot possibly be what's best for our evolution. And you know how we can start embracing that challenge? By slowing down. I know that after a year and a half of slowing down, often of being still actually, at least for some, at least in some respects, the impulse might be to speed up the rhythm as much as we possibly can. But all that is going to accomplish is to prevent us from truly appreciating, deconstructing, and internalizing the complex blend of feelings that we experience as we finally restart to live moments that, for months and months, we have been craving and missing. Instead, we must take the time to acknowledge how special it is to be in a classroom again for those that are continuing their educational path, how imaginative it is to dress up for work one morning for those that, on the other hand, have elected to commence a professional journey, how remarkably timeless it feels to be in the physical presence of one another in any context. Only through a slow appreciation of our basic needs, only through a conscious focus on the positives of what slow thinking can do, will we be able to bring society back to what it once was. And that, my friends, is what we will be remembered for. Not for adapting to change, but rather for reacting to it, thereby attributing to the things we did not have their true intrinsic value. We give value to things, not the other way around. And our transition into whatever comes next for us will depend on the value we attribute, first and foremost, to ourselves. So, what value do you attribute to yourself? I certainly don't expect a fast answer. I just want you to think slowly. To the class of 2021, thank you.
Hello, hopefully everyone can see me. I think I'm back. Thank you, Alessandro. That was a fantastic speech. And I too agree that I need to take your advice and slow down a bit. So I definitely will take your words to heart. Right now, what I'd like to do is transition into our graduation awards. We first wanted to start off by recognizing that we have some NYU Commencement Award winners that would have been recognized in our NYU Commencement graduation celebration. So the Ali Sherman Sports Business Leadership Award is an important honor that is issued to one graduating undergrad and graduate student who has demonstrated in their time within the sport management and/or sport business program exemplary academic performance, leadership, and service to the community. For the undergraduate program, I am very happy to congratulate Alessandro Giardi for winning this award on behalf of our program.
And on behalf of the graduate programs, Sherry Gui from the MS in Sport Business program will represent us as the Ali Sherman Leadership Award winner.
In addition, we have the NYU Commencement Flag Bearer, and this honor is typically bestowed on the person who gets to carry the flag during the commencement, but unfortunately that doesn't happen this year. But this is an honor that is issued to one of the graduating graduate and undergraduate students who has demonstrated in their time within our program exemplary academic performance and service to the community. Congratulations to Marcy Brustman, who is our undergraduate award winner for the flag bearer.
And for the NYU Commencement Flag Bearer for the graduate programs, Ms. Olivia White represent the MS in Global Sport program for the 2020-2021 academic term.
Next, the faculty have voted on a student from both programs, and the Faculty Award for Academic Excellence is awarded to a student who has demonstrated outstanding work in the classroom. This individual also is a consummate professional who represents themselves, the Tisch Institute, and NYU outstandingly. Congratulations to Anton. I'm not going to say your last name correctly because I still get it wrong, but I'm going to try. Kondrashov for our undergraduate sport management program award winner. Congratulations, Anton.
And for the graduate programs, the Faculty Award for Academic Excellence will go to Sebastian Milo from the MS in Sport Business program.
And our final award was voted on by the student body. The Student Award for Distinguished Leadership is bestowed, or what like I said, voted by the graduating class. This winner represents excellence in leadership in the classroom, student clubs, and industry event. Also, this individual is also a professional who represents themselves, the Tisch Institute, and NYU outstandingly. Congratulations to Aggie Dent, the undergraduate student award winner.
And for the graduate programs, Ms. Shay Decker-Jacoby from the MS in Sport Business program represent us as the student award winner for distinguished leadership. Thank you.
And finally, we would like to recognize the distinguished academic performance by all of our students. The first is the cum laude distinction. And for the undergraduate, congratulations to Alexis Duhaney, Aggie Dent, Brandon Bearson, Joseph Prisco, Jack Jacobs, Oscar Gonzalez, Sammy Robbins, Michael Huang, Caroline Dang, Zach Levine, and Leo Lee. Wonderful job to all of you.
And likewise, for the graduate programs, for cum laude, the distinction will go to Ali Dayon, Alan Briones, Alex Young, Claudio Balamenos, Kunyi Kai, Giannis Court, Jacob Bouchard, Kushal Patel, Mei Jung, Mirko Guangzhou, Pedro Morera, Renat Mamashev, Sebastian Milo, Tommaso Vitali, Tyler Case, and Yishu Dai. Congratulations.
And for magna cum laude, we have Anton Kondrashov, Liz Carter, Jorge Rojas, Lauren Schwartzer, Leo Bramond, Marcy Brustman, Max Fishman, Noah Landau, Sam Schultz, Stephen Lai, Victoria Benitez, and Yang Lee. Congratulations to all of you.
And likewise, for magna cum laude, we have Roy Flores, Bihan Yu, Caroline Casper, Ferenc Puskas, Gregory Cox, Sherry Gui, John Rose, Lyndon Moore, Mark Nicholson, Shay Decker-Jacoby, and Shluk Bolar. Congratulations.
And finally, for those who reached summa cum laude, very, very much congratulations to you, Alessandro Giardi and Caroline Evnen. Well done.
And for the graduate programs, congratulations to Amanda Young, Benjamin Schleider, Daniel Capuano, Joe Restian, Olivia White, Paulina Manis, and Thomas Ryan. Next, we have a very exciting aspect of our presentation today. We solicited feedback from students via voting process for superlatives. And this next category is going to be a lot of fun as we transition to the next category. And based on the voting of your peers, the alumni future alumni who will take the sports industry by storm for the graduate programs, we have Mr. John Rose from the MS in Sports Business program.
And it will probably come as no surprise is Aggie Dent for the BS in Sport Management program. Congratulations, Aggie.
And for the votes for the student who used sport to solve world peace, Ms. Paulina Manis was chosen from the MS in Sport Business program by her peers.
And also Arik Rosenstein from the BS in Sport Management program, who has already started trying to solve the world with world peace with his nonprofit. So congratulations to you, Arik. Well done.
And voted by her peers to be the first one to start their own sports business, Ms. Lyndon Moore, MS in Sport Business Program.
And another one who's already started his own business. Congratulations to Leo Bramond. Not most likely, but definitely has started. So well done to both of you.
And for the category of drinks 5 cups of coffee in one class, Ms. Maggie Gong for her infectious personality from the MS in Sport Business Program.
And for the BS in Sport Management, Ellie Rothman, I wish I'd had you in class because I'd had you bring me some coffee. Congratulations to you all.
And for the category of forgetting to unmute themselves on Zoom, a problem I also have sometimes, Mirko Guangilo, the MS in Sport Business Program.
And for the BS in Sport Management, we have Jorge Rojas. I always do that as well. So I think we're all in that category, actually.
And the student most likely to dress up on Zoom went to Vicky Yu from the MS in Sport Business Program. She's our resident fashionista.
And I'm sure it came to no surprise that Anton won this award because he not only dresses up on Zoom, but he also dressed up in class. So congratulations to you, Anton, as well.
And for the student that knew the answers to every question posed by faculty, Jackie Wangmei Kong from the MS in Sport Business Program.
And for the undergraduate, it was Alessandro Giardi. Congratulations to you both.
And for the student that's willing to debate anything, our future doctoral student, Sebastian Milo from the MS in Sport Business Program.
And for the undergraduate program, congratulations to Andrew Heen. We'll have to bring you back for some debates in class.
And of course, the next one voted by peers, the biggest team player on course projects, Mr. Benjamin Slider, MS in Sports Business Program.
And for the undergraduate program, we have Alex Babu, who's definitely, I can see why she won this. She's definitely a great team player. Congratulations.
And next, the student most likely to crack a joke during class, Mr. Russell White, who's our resident business development expert in sponsorships from the MS in Global Sport Program.
And for the undergraduate, it was Matthew Ascadar, who, yes, that he's a jokester for sure. I'm glad you guys came up with that one. That's not surprising at all. Congratulations, Matt.
And then now at this time, I'd like to congratulate the graduates of our inaugural class, the first class for the MS in Global Sport Program, Ms. Caroline Casper, Joe Restian, Kushal Patel, Olivia White, Pedro Morera, and Russell White. Additionally, for the congratulations to the graduates of the MS in Sport Business Program, Ali Dayon, Alan Briones, Alex Young, Amanda Young, Roy Flores, Benjamin Schleider, Bihan Yu, Claudia Ballaminos, Kunyi Kai, Daniel Capuano, Emily Plowman, Ferenc Puskas, Gregory Cox, Guangmei Jackie Kong, Haofei Heng, Sherry Gui, Giannis Court, Isabella von Hasberg, Jacob Bouchard, John Rose, Kevin Gaudio, Lee Du, Lyndon Moore, Mark Nicholson, Mei Gong, Mirko Guangilo, Nan Zhang, Paulina Manis, Rebecca Botman, Renette Mamashov, Sebastian Milo, Shea Decker Jacoby, Shlok Lolar, Tiano Seriki, Thomas Ryan, Tommaso Vitali, Tyler Case, Xingyang Zhang, Yishu Dai, Yuki Lu, and Xingying Wang.
Congratulations to all the graduate students. Everybody bear with me because we definitely have more undergrads. So congratulations to those of you graduating in the BS in Sport Management program. We have Alessandro Giardi, Alex Babu, Alexis Duhaney, Amanda Lawton, Andrew Hing, Aggie Dent, Anton Kondrashov, Ariel Rosenstein, Benjamin Spetner, Blake Grendel, Brendan Bierson, Caroline Evnan, Casey O'Connor, Charles Greco, Shengda Shai, Chloe Brule, Christian Tulibaki, Christopher Imbrogno, Dylan Lynch, Eleanor Rothman, Liz Carter, Evan Salaj, Jorge Sanchez, Grace Apple, Kevin Kim, Ivan Wang, Jacob Tochek, Jaden Narwhal, Jeffrey Richmond, Jesse Brimland, Sam Kang, Jason Kui, Jack Jacobs, Jorge Rojas, Joseph Prisco, Kier Lucas, Kevin Lang, Lauren Schwartzer, Leo Bermond, Marcy Brustman, Matt Oskadar, Matt Pearl, Max Fishman, Neil Khatib, Nick Capsalis, sorry about that, Nick, Noah Landau, Oscar Gonzalez, Patrick Zuroni, oh, sorry, is that, I think that's an extra, sorry, Patrick Giertez, Ryan White, Sammy Robbins, Sam Zarin, Sam Schultz, Saul Towell, Sean Sigmund, So Young Yoon, Sierra Salaj, Stephen Lai, Mike Wang, Tian Zhang, Tiani Zhang, sorry about that, Victoria Benitez, Vishal Balani, William Imus Dietrich, Yang Li, Caroline Dang, Yi Yang Shen, Jason Yang, Ada Zhang, Zachary Everett, Zachary Levine, Jerry Song, Chris Yang, and Leo Lee. I think that is everyone. So very much a congratulations to all of our graduates. We are so very proud of you, and we are so thankful that we had the opportunity to work with all of you. And now I'll turn it back over to Vince. Dean Gennaro?
Well, thank you, Dr. Newland. And I just want to close off this evening's celebration by saying congratulations to everyone. It's such an impressive group of graduates that are going out into the sports business community or onto graduate school for some of the undergraduates right now. And I want to remind you that you either spent your 4 years or 2 years or 1.5 years here if you're a graduate student, but know that we are here for the long haul. We're a resource for you. You are an alum now, and we are here to support your future endeavors in every sense. We spend a lot of our time talking with our alumni, and now you're one of our alumni, whether it's giving them counsel, giving them advice, connecting them with a broader network of people, as we all have a wonderful network ourselves. So welcome to the alumni community, and we're very excited, and congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes our program for our graduation celebration. We look forward to seeing you in your other celebrations in the coming weeks. Good evening.
Take care.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for everything. It was